On X, um, it was very interesting. I'm going to make this short, but I don't want it to go to short, so I might talk a little bit longer. I'm so utterly and totally pissed off at the Trump administration right now. I haven't even looked at my notifications for like days. I probably am getting hammered by people. Um, Trump, and he's losing his base with this Ukraine thing. He needed to just fucking walk away. Why he has Marco Rubio? He's making very bad decisions as the no war anti-war candidate. He's disappointed me. But I wanted to just get into this really quick. Andrew Torba, who I follow, and I've had many of these sometimes when I respond to his posts, excuse me, I get like a lot of outrage from people, and I'm going to probably do it again. So this one comes from Retro Coast. Okay. I saw an 80-year-old woman delivering DoorDash. I'm unliking it for this reason. She was using a cane and could barely walk, yep, up the stairs. Now, I don't know. Is she rehabbing from something? Because she's not using the right technique. I don't know if she was 80. How do you know she was 80? The non-boomers just look at you and go, "Oh, you're old, whatever." Or you're using a cane, you're using crutches. They're automatically, "Oh, you're old, blah blah, grandma, whatever." Just one time when I saw some kids stealing something, and I was really hurt by that too, because I was on crutches. I'm got the damn cart, the electric cart, and I'm getting picked on by bratty kids in the suburbs because I had to drive out to the suburbs because the hood has gotten so bad. Okay. So I read this post and I think to myself, what is wrong with this picture? So I will read it to you guys. Today, I saw an 80-year-old woman delivering DoorDash. She was using a cane and could barely walk up the steps. Now, are you sure she was delivering DoorDash? This is what I'm saying. Was she delivering it to you? You just saw someone walking up the steps and I don't know, does DoorDash, I've never seen DoorDash people with IDs on where I live. I saw a guy, a black dude, last winter, wearing a bathrobe trying to get in my building, and it was like snowing out. It was like 20 degrees below zero wind chill. And I'm like, I see this guy, and I made the assumption he was homeless and looking for a place to get warm. But it's a small building, and I thought, what in the hell is this guy doing? And then I realized he's got food. And he just put the bathrobe on just as extra protection because he couldn't buy a proper coat. Probably doesn't even own one because no one seems to these days. And okay, I'm going on and on and on again. Anyway, he's got a white women's terry cloth bathrobe on. I'm assuming it was women's. It looked like it. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's trying to get in the door, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there looking at him, and I'm like, what the, like, I can't just, let this guy in. I don't know what he's doing. And then I realized that he was delivering food to someone because I saw a bag. And it took a while. And I said, "Are you delivering something?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Which apartment?" And he's like, "Can you just knock on their door?" And I'm like, "Sure," because we don't have buzzers. And uh, so then the person came and got the food, or I did not let the guy in. He, a man wearing a bathrobe in a snow and rain and hailstorm. No, because I really wasn't sure. And, I went out, then I realized, okay, he's delivering, and someone came to get the food, and I still was walking out. And then he actually helped me, made sure I was okay to get down the stairs because they were slippery outside. I mean, okay, so that's all really nice. Okay. So, but you know what I'm saying? So it says, today I saw an 80-year-old woman delivering DoorDash. Well, you're making that assumption, but okay. On the age and the service, unless they wear special identifiers, because they don't, again, where I live. Okay. She was using a cane and could barely walk up the stairs, but obviously she needed the money. Like, that's one assumption after the other after the other. She could be rehabbing from something. Going up and down a flight of stairs is the best thing you can do when you get older, because studies have shown that you live longer if you're doing something like using the stairs all day. Someone told me that this summer. I could get into that story too. And then it says, God, I hate what this country has become. Okay. I don't even know where to go with this. So I put a couple of replies in. All right. On the other hand, were you sure of her age? Is it possible she was just wants to get out and do stuff rather than sit in front of a TV watching some mind-numbing BS and developing dementia? And that is exactly what happens to you if you just sit there all day. And he says she was 80. Okay, so we're talking like Joe Biden age. And you don't know that she was 80, maybe, and you don't know why she was using the cane. And then I said, none of them are fat. And then I said, on the other hand, I do hate what this country has become. Fat men and women, so fucking lazy, they cannot prepare a healthy meal or even a sandwich. So they call a service to deliver DQ. That is actually worse. And then I directed it to Maha and Robert Kennedy Jr., who apparently all these MAGA people don't even listen to him. Now, I last night tried to open a DoorDash account for my mom because she's not eating, and I don't even know how it works. I got to a certain point and I just wanted to plug in a credit card so she could do the ordering, right? Or tell me what she needed and then I could have it delivered to her. But she's transitioning now from she's been in the hospital and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So for that situation, for someone who's in her early 90s, not me, my mom, I think she would consider it a real treat if I ordered, like, and she can eat everything and she never gains weight. So for someone like that, I could see like an elderly person who's like in assisted living or something and who still is together mentally somewhat or whatever. You know, and I think like when I was growing up, I mean, my God, I honestly can't remember the last time I ate McDonald's. I mean, they used to have like cappuccino. I did with like the high sugar stuff. I did go through a period in the late 90s where I was totally addicted to that stuff. I normally got it at gas stations. Um, and if I was like near McDonald's, they used to serve it. They don't anymore. They have something different. But my dad used to ask me to go to McDonald's for him. And I just, for my dad, I'd do it. He was losing weight because of his cancer. And he had lost like 30 pounds. And I wanted him to eat whatever he could or whatever he had a taste for. And we, as a family, never even went to McDonald's. I mean, my mom would take us there when we were kids, like once a year. Okay. So, and plus there weren't that many around. There was like one every 10 or 12 miles. And, you know, so that's that. I don't understand. And like there's a Chick-fil-A. There, is a community, um, outside of where I live that is just crazy bad because of the apartments and the people, and it's just a weird community. And it's called Glendale, and there's just a shitload of crime. Um, People like living in hotels that used to be, used for business, and I don't know what's going on. Um, it just there was like a warehouse liquor store that I was going to, but even I can't even handle that. It just, if I took the back roads, I could be there in a few minutes. And there's a Chick-fil-A, and the number of and it's drive through only. I There are almost always 100 cars on that lot. It's huge. And I'm like, wow, this is gross. They can't even get out of their cars, and they're all overweight. It's just gross. We just didn't do that when I was in my teens or 20s or even my childhood. I mean, just no. Um, and since I started working kind of at a young age, I never even sat down to eat dinner with my family. My mom would give me, I'd eat after they were finished because I had my paper out and or was babysitting. So whatever I grabbed, and kind of had a lot of baby fat. And as soon as I started doing that and walking around and getting exercise, when I was like 12 and a half, 13, going through that really kind of awkward phase I don't know if women still go through that or not, but, where you're just getting your period and all that crap, which I guess girls get it so early now. And I can only think of one thing that's different between when I was born and when they were born, and it begins with a V, and it's not vagina. And I um hmm and you have Secretary Kennedy coming out recently to I mean, nobody is following his stuff because everybody's just watching Sean Hannity or something. So, let me go back to what I was kind of pointing out. Calling a service to deliver junk food loaded with chemicals that are going to fucking kill you and cause diseases. Is that worse than the 80-year-old woman that wants to actually do something? And you know what? Chatting with people, looking at, if you are that old, and interacting rather than just sitting there and going, but you never know. She might be living alone. She might be bored, and she might have thought to herself, you know what, I'm gonna do something part-time. What the hell? I could make a little extra money too. You know? So we don't know what the situation was. It's a, there are many assumptions that people make in certain age groups, mainly Gen Xers, I noticed, you know, and I'm very much tail end boomer. And even on this like um platform, these kids are just horrible from certain groups. I mean, they're just nasty in real life, in person, where I am, and my interactions are generally um positive, but I live in a kind of a little positive neck of the woods. And I just said, "Are you sure of her age?" Okay. Yeah, I mean, if people are that lazy that they can't take bread and cheese and maybe pop it in the microwave and snack on that, um, or like get lettuce and vegetables together and make a salad. Although I don't think DoorDash, okay. Um, I'm trying to think. Pizza. Everybody's eating all this fattening pizza all the time. Um, God, you know, if I'm working out a lot, yeah, I would allow myself. Maybe I'd buy one and maybe like cut it up and split it up over 2 or 3 nights with a salad or something. You're just going to end up killing yourself if you keep doing that. And here's a retro. I said, and none of them are fat. So I go to YouTube. You guys remember? Oh, wear short shorts. We wear short shorts. All right, you know what I'm going to say. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I still wear shorts like that now. But I mean, yeah, this is very, very normal for a 70s woman. You can tell, is that a Winnebago? You can tell by the camper on the street. You guys remember this or not? Am I the only one? Who wears short shorts? We wear short shorts. If you dare wear short shorts, therefore short. I mean, look at their bodies and their figures. They're not overweight. And you can tell by the size of the zipper and the waistline. This is, I don't know what part of the 70s. I don't think this is 1970 exactly. I'd say, I mean, I was wearing super high-waisted jeans like that. I don't know. You had to be super skinny to wear them. I don't know. And this woman is white. Froze like that were in style. I never had one. I knew a couple girls that did. I think I would have freaked out if my hair was that curly. I just, well, what am I going to do with it? But this is like pretty normal.
If you want your legs short shorts bare without nicks and cuts, just take up the nair and take off the hair.
No, I guess she is African American. I can't tell. So now people are calling a service to get a hamburger, fries, and a shake so they don't have to get off their behinds and get it. Now, there's this kid that lives below me in my apartment, and he I can understand why his mom doesn't want him running around at night. He's only like 13. But he actually should be confident and have had a dad that taught him how to fight and has a bicycle. And there is a place, literally is that, which side of the river is that on? Oh, I apologize. It can't be more than 5 blocks away. This kid should be able to get on his bike and go to this damn ice cream stand and order it. Instead, he has DoorDash deliver it for him, like a lot. But he's super active and a jock, But, if you're skinny and you work out and you're a kid and, he's constantly doing sports and soccer and this and that. Yeah, you can do that. You know, my brother was like that. He would eat. He would go to basketball practice, and he would be so hungry he'd sit down and take like 20 saltine crackers and put huge peanut butter on each one and eat it all in one sitting, just as a quick snack before bed. And he's like 6'2". He's really tall and skinny. My sister was too. I was not blessed to have the tall, long legs. I was more have to watch every single thing I put in my body, you know.
Hair.
Why? So what's more disturbing to me is the fact that some lazy millennial asshole has to call a service, and then instead of encouraging the 80-year-old woman, puts a post up on X to say, I hate what this country has become. Yeah, I do too. And that's why I seclude myself, and I have I've got to put myself in a situation that I don't know right now if I physically and emotionally want to handle, but I have to do it. I mean, it's to help my family, even though, I've got my own crap I'm dealing with legally, that, which has me, I'm going to be honest with you, tied up in knots. And but yeah, it's kind of like where were we? Let's see what we can do. Go back. So I actually applaud whoever tried to do it, because I thought to myself, what could I do on crutches? Just could I do something with my talents or with my head? But I have far too many. Like right now, I have a lot of very big, actually, that have come to play, where my brother was just not handling things properly for my mom, and I decided to just keep my ass out of it, and then I got injured, and then, quite frankly, I had memory loss issues, and I'm not joking either. And that's why I had, such bad trauma that, and I'm still trying to regain some memory, but most of it's come back. But I've just learned, like right now, the biggest thing in my head, or my, just about me right now, is trying not to get stressed out over, if you have like 10 issues that are really big, plus you're recovering from an issue, and that's one of them, recovering from an issue, or injury, which is one of the issues, and you have like just these monumental things just piling on you. Honestly, if you get stressed out, which I do, but I actually just focus my head away from, I try not to let it get to me. I'm just like, okay, I gotta deal with this, blah, blah, blah. Not, oh my God, I gotta go to the doctor and get some medication. It's wrong, guys. It's wrong. So, on the cusp of
services. In the final months of the election,
honestly, I can't.
President Trump repeatedly called for.
And I am pissed off at Trump right now with his warmongering. Why is my volume so low? What in the hell is going on here? Okay.
removing toxins from our food supply. He added his voice to the millions of Maha moms who were touting the Make America Healthy Again agenda. The first step is radical transparency because right now, not even the US government knows what's in our food. In 1958, the government created a designation called Generally Recognized as Safe, or GRAS, so that we can make common ingredients like salt and baking soda exempt from testing. But today, it isn't just salt and baking soda. Food companies and cooperative regulators have enlarged the GRAS exemption so that these companies can decide for themselves.
Is my microphone on? Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Whether a substance
The worst thing is this zero stuff. Ugh.
is generally recognized as safe. No FDA approval is needed. European nations, on the other hand, require that a chemical be proven safe before it becomes a food ingredient. In our country, the GRAS standard means that every chemical is presumed safe until proven dangerous, and that proof might not happen until millions of Americans are sick with chronic disease. This mass experiment on the American population with GRAS has, in short, been a catastrophe. We now have around 10,000 chemicals in our food, while Europe has only 400. For example, titanium dioxide, potentially linked to DNA damage and cancer, is banned in the EU, but it's in our children's food. Potassium bromate, a suspected carcinogen, banned in Europe and Japan. And you guessed it, it's in our children's bread. Food dyes such as red dye 40 and yellow 5 and 6 come with warning labels in Europe. They're linked.
Oh. Oh.
And you guessed it, it's in our children's bread. Food dyes.
Oh no, I'm only doing organic stuff right now that has like 4 ingredients. I am not joking. It's hard. It's almost impossible for me to find where I am right now. And I think I'm nutrient deficient, but except for my vitamins, I just know I am, but I'll turn it around, but wow. Okay.
Dyes such as red dye 40 and yellow 5 and 6 come with warning labels in Europe.
Who in the flying fuck would serve this shit to a kid for breakfast?
They're linked to behavioral issues in children, but in the US, they're generally recognized as safe.
Chips. No, we never had anything like that in the house. Well, I'll tell you what we did. Is since my grandmother worked in a bakery and was a phenomenal baker and taught me how to bake, and we would be allowed cookies after school, but we baked them ourselves too. And then we're only allowed a certain amount. Like I said, my brother with the saltines and the peanut butter. I mean, it's saltines and peanut butter. Back then, it was just nuts and some sugar or something. Now it's 100,000 ingredients. And it always says at the bottom, may contain a bioengineered, or this contains a bioengineered food. What on earth does that mean? But we have, and that was just the basketball thing. But we homemade our snacks. But no, we just didn't eat after our meal. No. Honestly, I don't think my parents had so much going on the side, with my dad building his homes and stuff, that the place in the lake up north, 200 miles away or whatever. At the time, all his extra money went into that and the furnishings and materials. Then he bought a boat. Yeah, he liked his toys. But We were very limited on what we could do. And my mom would make, I think once a week, she'd make popcorn um, on the stove, with a pan. And that was it. I don't understand it.
I can't really blame the food companies. They're just doing what we've allowed them to get away with in a system that's taken on a life of its
Yeah.
own. We all agree now that it's time to change the system, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I am today directing the FDA commissioner to start the process of changing the rules to eliminate the self-affirming GRAS pathway for new ingredients. I'm also directing the FDA and NIH to ramp up post-market assessments of GRAS chemicals currently in our food so that we can rapidly identify the compounds that are making Americans so sick, and so that American consumers and
Does that include everything? Huh.
regulators can make informed decisions.
I have not seen a grocery store look like this since well, mid 2000, early 2009. And all of a sudden I noticed a change, and I started kind of talking to other customers at the store, and I'd say, "What is wrong with this? And why is it so expensive? It looks horrible." And then it was just a slow and then they would put all this garbagey produce on the market, but then they turn the lights. I'm like, there aren't any lights anymore. I can't even see what I'm doing. And then you'd have to take like the lettuce, and you'd have to find a light to make sure it wasn't brown and rotting. Now it just is brown and rotting. And the last time I went to a store that was run by Kroger, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, there were like an aisle this size had maybe 2 heads of cabbage. Oh, and then they spray it with shit that's got bleach in it. Like 2 heads of cabbage. Not many people buy cabbage, right? Maybe at St. Patrick's Day. And then in the vegetable department, I can't find carrots anymore. You can buy the little bagged ones that are the little mini ones, which are bioengineered to make them that small. Because God forbid you actually take a carrot, wash it, peel it, and chop it up or grate it or something and put it in your food, or just eat it as a snack. Because that's one of the first things I always bought: carrots, tomatoes, lettuce, every single day. That's what I had with my dinner or for dinner. Good luck.
This issue isn't going away. Moms aren't going to return to wanting chemicals in our food that are banned in other developed countries.
Why can't the president be standing with this man and talking about this with the press?
Even industry knows that we have to change. So I promise you, I'm going to work with all parties, the companies, the moms, the scientists, the consumer advocates, to make American
What about just the citizens in general? It doesn't have to be moms.
food the healthiest in the world, the way that it was when I was a
Me
child.
too. Yeah.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Bravo. And why can't this be on television instead of a drug ad for Manjaro? Okay, I think I've finished up what I wanted to say.